What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. There are a lot of limited pieces dropping here in the month of October as far as Funko items go. We've got New York Comic Con this week. There are regular limited items releasing through the Funko Shop, aka Funko's website. There's also limited pieces coming from other various retailers, and we also have Hot Topics Scare Fair. It can be a little daunting trying to keep track of it all, so I'm going to run you through every single limited piece item dropping for the month of October all in one video. There's a lot, so let's get started. Kicking it off with one that is already sold out, we had Billy the Puppet, which was limited to 9,500 pieces, sell out this past Friday in less than 10 minutes, which is not surprising considering it's a very popular horror character, and we are in the month of October. It's spooky season, so really not surprised that that one already sold out, but if you missed it, I am so sorry. The point of this video is to hopefully help you guys not miss any of these limited pieces that you're hoping to secure for your collection. Now let's talk about a big one with New York Comic Con. The shared online drop is happening this Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific time. We will be live here on YouTube like normal because it is a major convention drop, and if you have your notifications turned on to make sure that you're notified when we go live, then you definitely won't miss the drop happening this Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun during the live stream, so I hope to see you guys there. Let's run through all of the limited piece items that are going to be releasing at New York Comic Con 2025 from Funko. There are a lot of DC items releasing, so if you're a DC fan, a Batman collector, you're definitely in for a special con. Starting off with the DC mystery pops. For $40, you will get one of the following pops should you secure one of these DC mystery items for yourself. You could get the 2,000 piece metallic Batman, the 1,000 piece metallic Joker, 1,000 piece metallic Robin, 500 piece metallic Superman, 400 piece metallic Wonder Woman, or the ever elusive 100 piece Flash. And I think it's awesome that Funko is continuing to do this. We saw them do this past San Diego Comic Con with the Huckleberry Hound holding the small Huckleberry Hound. Even though this mystery item is branded as a specialty item celebrating the 15th anniversary of the Funko Pop, I really hope that this is something they continue to do for major conventions like San Diego Comic Con and New York Comic Con for years to come, because it just adds a lot of excitement to the con catalog, and it's really fun opening up a mystery item, especially when you can get something as limited as 100 pieces. But we got a lot more DC fire to talk about. Up next, we have the 1,000 piece damage suit Batman Beyond. Now, this unfortunately is going to be a show-only item, so you can only get this if you happen to be going to New York Comic Con and have a time slot. Even if you have a time slot, you might not even be guaranteed to get one of these because it's so limited. With only being 1,000 pieces, there's likely going to be 250 or less of them per day. So this is going to be a very sought-after item, and one of the ones that I think are going to have a very high price tag on the secondary market, especially if you're trying to get it the weekend of New York Comic Con. Moving on to three other DC items that are limited and are once again celebrating the 15th anniversary of the Funko Pop collectible. We have the clamshell throwback pops. Now, this is something that we just saw for San Diego Comic Con. They're doing it again, only this time we have a blue Batman, Batgirl, as well as Joker. Now, these are all going to be limited to 2,010 pieces. I think these are great. However, unlike the DC mystery pops, I think that this is something that they should not continue moving into 2026 as a con item. I think keep it as part of that 15th anniversary wave, and don't touch it anymore. Allow these 6 clamshells that they've redone to just be special in their own way and collectible for those who want to get them, but don't oversaturate the market, because Funko, unfortunately, you do that quite a bit with a lot of items that people enjoy. I just really hope they don't do it with the clamshells. Moving on, we've got more DC limited pieces, if you can believe it. Next up, we've got the Blueprint Batgirl and Joker. Once again, we saw this for San Diego Comic Con with the Blueprint Batman and Robin. If you happen to have picked up those, you may want to grab these two to round out your Blueprint wave. Once again, this is something that I really hope Funko doesn't dive into as a variant for Pops. I just don't think they look too great, but they are each limited to 2,010 pieces, so that is a nice touch. Unlike the clamshells and the Batman Beyond, the blueprint Joker and Batgirl, these will be available on Funko's website come Thursday for the New York Comic Con drop. Moving on to some Marvel limited pieces. Now, I will warn you, the Marvel limited pieces are not as exciting as the DC, although they are still pretty cool. They are also available online. They're not show only, so you do have the opportunity to get them on Thursday's drop. We have Havoc, limited to 3,000 pieces, as well as Nimrod, limited to 4,000 pieces. Lesser known Marvel characters, I don't think they're going to be too expensive, once they're sold out on the Funko shop and everything, so I don't think they're going to be too hard to get long term if you need them for your X-Men collection. Moving on to some other various characters that happen to be limited for this year's New York Comic Con. San Diego Comic Con gave us a Pingu, which I don't think was too popular. However, Funko has decided to give us another Pingu pop. This time it's going to be limited to 5,000 pieces. Moving on to an IP and a character that is very popular, so it's no wonder as to why Funko is giving us a limited piece of this character. We have My Melody with the cat ears holding the jack-o'-lantern. Maybe she's doing a little trick-or-treating. This is going to be show only and limited to 2,000 pieces. Next up from Masters of the Universe, we have the Facade Orko. This is going to be limited to 3,000 pieces, and once again, just like the My Melody and the Batman Beyond, this is show only. Moving on to two pops that I'm glad to see, but at the same time, I really think Funko is missing the mark with this collaboration, and this is, of course, with Gary V's brand, aka V-Friends. Last year, they gave us a Jolly Jacko pop, which was really cool. It was very exciting. The V-Brand's catalog has hundreds of characters by now, so I'm really confused as to why we're getting these two pops for this year's New York Comic Con, but we are getting a gold 3,000 piece Jolly Jacko, as well as a 1,000 piece silver Jolly Jacko. These are the same molds as the pop from last year, and I just really think it's very boring that this is the case. However, with the Gary V booth present once again at New York Comic Con with V-Friends and everything, I have no doubt that a lot of people will be trying to get their hands on one of these two pops so they can then bring it over to the booth to have him signed. That was one of the big things last year for New York Comic Con in 2024, and I have no doubt that it will be happening here again in 2025. Both of these pops are show only, so you will not be able to get them online. The final limited piece item for New York Comic Con is a very exciting one, and one that, according to Funko's shared catalog, says it's going to be available on Funko's website. However, it's also going to be available on Loungefly's website. Limited to 1,000 pieces, we have a Hello Kitty pop and bag combo. I think this is going to sell out lightning quick. Once again, coming from that Sanrio IP, Hello Kitty is a very popular character. We're going to be trying to get our hands on one of these. If you need one of these for your collection, do not hesitate come Thursday, because I think this is going to be one of the items that sells out the fastest. I have a feeling it will sell out very quick on Funko's website, and then you'll have a flurry of people trying to go over to Loungefly, and then it will sell out over there as well. With all of these limited pieces dropping this Thursday and for New York Comic Con as a whole, some of these are a little bit more expensive than we've seen in the past due to Funko's tiered pricing system when it comes to their new limited piece initiative started here in 2025. We are always looking for ways to save some money, and a way that you can save some money on your New York Comic Con purchases this week is by using our favorite free cashback service called Rakuten. I've been using Rakuten for years. They have partnered with hundreds of retailers to give you as a consumer and customer free cashback on your purchases, and luckily Funko is one of their partners. Every time you make an order on Funko's website, you will earn 2% cash back on your overall order for free. And if you happen to sign up with our unique affiliate link down in the description below, you will get a $50 sign up bonus, which can really make a dent if you're trying to grab some of these limited pieces this upcoming Thursday for your collection. So take advantage of that $50. You will get that sign up bonus after Rakuten verifies your purchase through Funko's website. You'll get it in the form of either a check or a deposit into your PayPal account, or you can get a gift card. There's multiple ways to get that $50, but please take advantage of that $50 sign up bonus. It is only being offered because Rakuten has been so kind enough to sponsor Slapshotpops for the rest of 2025. So we are very grateful to them. And we are also very grateful to you guys, because they reached out to us about a month ago and they said that we had a record amount of people sign up to Rakuten through our YouTube channel here in 2025, and because they are so grateful for us sending people their way, they wanted to give you guys a little bit more incentive by offering that $50 sign-up bonus. So take advantage of that. Once again, huge shout out and massive thank you to Rakuten for this enormous sponsorship. All right, so now that we've got New York Comic Con knocked out, now let's talk about all of the limited piece items that are going to be releasing through Funko.com. And one of the great things that I think Funko has done here in 2025 is actually give us the full schedule of all of their limited pieces that are going to be releasing month by month. They've been doing a great job with that. It allows us as collectors to budget and to just be prepared for what's ahead so that we have a better chance at securing it for our collection. This is something that they've never done, and it's something that I really hope they continue to do moving into 2026. So starting off with the most upcoming drop, we have on this Friday, October 10th, this is going to be a crazy week, limited to 3,500 pieces, we have the glow-in-the-dark Eve Kim from the upcoming Tron movie. Now, I don't know how popular this is going to be, but even limited piece pops that haven't been too popular based on demand going into it have still sold out. So, just be mindful, set your alarm if this is one that you want to pick up for your Tron collection. Moving on to October 17th, we are getting a massive Marvel drop that is definitely going to draw in quite a bit of traffic. The first one that we have dropping that day is limited to only 750 pieces. We have the black and white Iron Man comic cover. Now, comic covers in general have been gaining more popularity here in 2025. The ones that have super low piece counts on the front of them, they sell like wildfire. So I have no doubt that this is going to sell in seconds, but the thing that's crazy about this Iron Man comic cover dropping is that there is an additional Iron Man pop that's dropping the same day at the same time, and I am so hyped for this one. We have a Superior Iron Man limited to 5,000 pieces. This is our first time ever getting this version of Iron Man as a Funko Pop. The fact that it's limited just makes it so much more exciting. The mold is incredible. I love the dynamic pose, and this is by far the pop that I am most excited about in terms of limited pieces here for the month of October. Now, you have a little bit of a conundrum though if you are an Iron Man or Marvel collector and you want both of these. My recommendation, go after the black and white Iron Man comic cover first because that's only 750 pieces, and I think that one is going to sell out quicker than the Superior Iron Man. So if you want a shot at getting both, go for the comic cover first, then the Superior Iron Man. Those are both dropping once again on Friday, October 17th. Moving on to a very familiar IP, once again coming from the Sanrio universe, we have Kirami with Bow limited to 9,500 pieces, releasing on October 24th. Also releasing on October 24th, we have a double drop that day. We have the Jumbo Chan Scorpion 14-inch vinyl figure. This is going to be limited to 1,200 pieces, just like all the other Jumbo Chans before it. And it's also going to retail at $249.99, which is really expensive, and I'm surprised that Funko is still doing these, but they are still selling out. The Godzilla sold out last month, although I am a little bit apprehensive with this character because I just don't know if there's enough demand to sell out 1,200 of these at that $250 price tag, but who knows? I could be proven wrong, and even though it's a cool looking figure, I personally wouldn't spend $250 on it. It's just not something that I want for my collection. These are also larger figures, so they take up more room. I will say, though, that the box art for the boxes that these figures come in are absolutely fire. They're phenomenal, and whoever's designing them deserves a raise over at Funko. The last limited piece pop that we have coming through the Funko shop in October is actually happening on Halloween. It's a gaming pop. We have Angel Imperius from Diablo 3, Reaper of the Souls. It's going to be limited to 5,000 pieces, and it is arguably one of the coolest pops I think Funko has released here in 2025. It is really awesome looking. There's a lot of details. It looks like some kind of crazy knight meshed with Sauron from Lord of the Rings or something. So I think this is going to be a very popular one, especially since we've seen a boom in demand for gaming pops, especially here in 2025. All right, now let's move on to all of the other retailers that are releasing limited pops here in the month of October. And once again, we have several. So starting off with a little bit of a controversial one. Unfortunately, after the debacle that we saw in September with the cell-shaded Goku pop, somehow Evend is still getting another limited piece exclusive in the form of General Grievous with his cape. This is an awesome pop. I think it's really good. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a tough one to get. Now, there is some good news on the horizon. It's limited to 9,500 pieces, and some of them have already been released through Canada's, or through Walmart up in Canada, and they do not have the event sticker on it. So I think there's still a chance that Funko may pull this exclusive from Evend after everything that happened last month, and I think there's even more evidence to support that because Evend actually announced on their social media platforms that they have postponed this drop. Unfortunately, I think the reality of the situation is that Funko is not pulling this limited piece pop from them because they've likely had it in their warehouses or they've already received this pop either weeks ago or months ago. I think they are just putting their heads together in their cave or wherever they do their their business and everything, and they are trying to figure out another way to scam over the community once again with every penny that they can take. So my advice to you all, if you want this pop, there are ones that are already circulated out there through Walmart up in Canada. So there's people that have gotten them and have started to sell them on the secondary market. Please just don't give any money to Evend on their Whatnot shows. They are horrible people. They're a disgrace to this community. They are just a retailer that I cannot understand why Funko would want to work with. They have been very open about wanting to rip off collectors and basically milk us for as much money as possible. So please, please, please do not give Evend any money. And if you see other people going to their streams, just tell them these are not good people to buy from. Avoid them at all cost. I've actually been a little bit more vocal about my thoughts and thoughts and feelings with them, and they've actually blocked us on Whatnot, so that should tell you everything you need to know. All right, moving on to the next one, which actually happens to be dropping today over at GameStop. This is actually one that we are hoping to pick up for our collection. We have Metal Sonic 3.0 limited to 5,000 pieces. Holy smokes, this is so cool, very detailed, awesome pop that I'm really hoping that we can secure for our collection. However, I think it's going to be very tough to get. You can only get it at GameStops in person. We have a couple GameStops around us. I'm going to be calling around to see if they have any, but likely I'm sure they're going to be sold out because even if a few of the GameStops get one, there's likely either an employee or somebody that's going to go in before me to grab it. So I think it's going to be a very tough one to come across. All right, next up, from Entertainment Earth, limited to 9,500 pieces, we have a really interesting one from Courage the Cowardly Dog. This is Liquack, and this is dropping on a very big day, Thursday, October 9th, NYCC Day. So if you're trying to get this one on top of all the other NYCC stuff, you're definitely going to have your hands full. It's our first ever pop of this character, and I think it's really cool that Funko is giving this one a limited edition piece count. Looks very cool. I don't know much about Courage the Cowardly Dog, but I can definitely appreciate when Funko gives us a new character in Funko Pop form for the very first time, and it happens to be limited. Next up, we have a Wednesday Addams pop, limited to 9,500 pieces. This is going to be releasing this Friday, October 10th, and it's going to be exclusive to Books A Million, aka BAM. It looks like her in some sort of like pilgrim or old American outfit. I'm not too familiar with what's going on with Wednesday. I haven't seen season 1 or season 2. Joanna is way more familiar with the show, but this one looks pretty interesting, and we actually have 2 Wednesday Atom Pops that are limited dropping here in the month of October. We'll talk about the other one here in just a moment. The next one that we have to discuss is the 9,500 piece Naruto Uzumaki. Now, this is presumably going to be one of the Amazon exclusive pops releasing on either the 16th or the 23rd. The other one that it could probably be is that other Wednesday Addams that I just mentioned. This one, once again, 9,500 pieces, and this is featuring her holding the 2 bags of piranhas, which, if I remember the season 1 trailer correctly, I think this was in the first episode of the first season of Wednesday. I think she dropped them in the pool, right? And it made all the people go nuts. But that is dropping also via Amazon. Once again, we don't know if Naruto is happening on the 16th or if Wednesday is going to be dropping on Amazon on the 23rd. It could be 16th or the 23rd for either one of those. Okay, we got one more limited piece pop left to talk about, and this one is coming up this week as well. So you got to be on your toes. Dropping, oh gosh, what is today? Dropping tomorrow for Hot Topic Scare Fair, we have the 9,500 piece Captain Spaulding. And this is a big deal because the original Captain Spaulding is a very expensive pop. It is a big horror grail that a lot of people want for their collection. It's a very tough one to get to because there are so many fakes on the market of that, it's trying to replicate or, pass for that original pop, unfortunately. So if you don't want to deal with the fakes, if you don't want to pay big money for the original one, then this is definitely the one to get. Although with it being spooky season, we already saw Billy the Puppet sell out. I think this is also going to be a very quick sellout. So with that being said, that is every single limited piece item dropping here in the month of October. Let me know down in the comments section below, what are you going after? There's a lot of really cool stuff, and if this is the direction that Funko is headed in, I think every month is going to be very exciting. Now, with that being said, I want to offer to you guys some inspiration / midweek motivation here. If you are going for a drop and you do not get one of the pops that you were going for whatever reason, your address is incorrect, or you fumble your credit card information, do not beat yourself up. A lot of these are going to be selling out very quick, some slower than others, but don't get down on yourself. Don't get mad. It's just the nature of collecting. It's just like sneakers or sports cards or any of these other, items where people are going after them and they're limited and there's just not enough for everyone to meet the demand. So just keep that in the back of your mind. With Funko Pops, though, with most of them, you will have an opportunity to get the ones that you want for your collection at a later date. You just have to be patient. Sometimes you might have to pay a little bit more. Sometimes you might be able to get a good deal and pay a little bit less, but it's all about patience. I hope to see you guys this upcoming Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. Holy smokes, I'm so sorry for you West Coasters that you have to get up at 6 in the morning to try to get some of these New York Comic Con releases, but that's also how it goes. So we're going to have a blast on Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we're not going to New York Comic Con this year, but we still get to have a fantastic live stream with you guys here at home. So with that being said, don't stop shooting until you score, and we'll see you guys very soon.